Hi, Dan from GroundedTech here with Mozillion once more, taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy S22. This is a phone that was released earlier this year, and we're going to see whether it really is worth that extra spend over a Galaxy A series. So let's get to it. Of course, like all Samsung phones now, you get the SIM ejector tool, a USB-C to USB-C cable, and the phone in the box. In terms of configurations, we have 8GB of RAM with 128GB of storage, with an option for 256GB. Color options are Phantom Black, Phantom White, which is what this little number is, Green, Pink Gold, and the most recent edition of Bora Purple. The thing you'll notice straight away with the S22 compared to the A series is the build quality. We've got a classy looking polished aluminium frame, frosted glass back, and minimum bezels, making this feel like a quality product. It's such a nice finish. The size also plays into this. It's almost perfect for one-handed use. The screen's gorgeous. We've got a flat 1080p 120Hz OLED panel. Nice and bright, no issues in the blazing sunshine. No complaints to be had. It's just really, really nice. We've got the always-on display, and we have Gorilla Glass Victus Plus to protect it. I'd still recommend popping a glass screen protector on there, and definitely put it in a case. General performance isn't bad. There's occasional hiccups and slowdown with system navigation, and in particular leaving or switching apps, but overall nothing major. Call quality has been really good. No issues using Wi-Fi calling as well. On mobile data, things weren't so great. But I think this is partly down to my network, because once I switched to another phone that I'm using at the minute, I had very similar issues. The phone does heat up though quite a bit. That's when on 5G, and especially when I was playing something like Pokemon Go, it was taking quite a long time to load in locations and keeping track of where you were as well in terms of the GPS data. I'd often have the frame rate drop to around 30 FPS once the phone got really hot, so it was really throttling. But it is worth noting that the temperature here in the UK at the minute has been around 25 degrees C. Which isn't normal conditions for the UK. So I think when you're in autumn, winter, even spring, I don't think you're going to have much of an issue in terms of thermals. And if you're not much of a gamer anyway, I don't think this is really going to be a problem for you. But if you are into your games, the S22 might not be the best choice. There is another knock-on effect though with this heating, the thermal issues, and that's battery life. So the S22 only has a 3700 mAh battery, which is considered quite small these days. Add to that those performance issues, and you have a phone that, at least in my usage, I was having to charge twice a day. Now, if you're a light user and you maybe only using the phone for 2-3 hours of screen on time a day, and you're not, connected to Bluetooth all day, using GPS, I think you'd be able to scrape a day if you're lucky. You'll need it to be on the charger at some point during the day. And the phone does support 25-watt fast charging. It's not really that fast compared to many manufacturers these days, but it does the job, especially with the battery being so small anyway. It doesn't really feel like it takes that long to charge. And obviously you will need to buy that charger because, as we've already shown, there's not one in the box. So we're on to one significant advantage that the S22 has over the A series, and that is those cameras. We've got a triple cam setup. Main lens is a 50 megapixel shooter that produces actually quite nice natural colors. Lots of detail, solid HDR. There's still a little bit of that shutter lag that Samsung's quite well known for at this point. Really hope they can sort that out at some stage. Basically, the shutter lag is the time between you pressing the camera shutter button or tapping the camera shutter button and it actually taking the photo. So anything that's moving, say you've got children or you've got pets that do not stay still, there's a chance that when you take your photo and they're moving a little bit, you're probably going to end up with a slightly blurry shot, which is not ideal. But for still photography, it's great. I've taken some really nice shots. I've been really, really happy with the output in that respect. It's definitely quite different to the color science that Samsung had in previous generations. They've gone a lot more natural on color tone, whereas things used to be quite overly saturated. So it's definitely a nice change in that respect. The 10 megapixel 3x telephoto is something I've been really enjoying using. You can do some really nice portrait photography with this. You will need good light for this as well to look good though. But overall, a really nice shooter. The 12 megapixel ultrawide is pretty standard. I wish they'd made this a 50 megapixel variety as well. Quite a few phones now that have got 50 megapixel ultrawides. Even phones like the Nothing phone. which would make it worth using more, but it's fine. It does the job. Portrait mode on Samsung phones these days is actually pretty excellent, but I would recommend also using that 3x telephoto for your portrait shots. Get used to using that. You'll get more natural bokeh, and it'll be a nicer looking image overall. But if you like your portrait shots, then Samsung is definitely one of the best out there right now. Selfie cam, pretty decent too, does a decent job in low light, which will be great for nights out, social situations, that sort of thing. Or even a bit of TikTok or Instagram Reels if you're into that sort of thing. Samsung do provide a lot when it comes to software support these days. The phone has been out for nearly 6 months. It's had regular updates, regular security patches, 4 years of OS updates, and 5 years of security patches. I don't think you're going to have any issues with support long term with this phone. It's stellar. Samsung have definitely got software nailed down. Overall, I think the phone is really nice, but it is let down a little bit by the average performance and the thermal issues, which is likely due to the Exynos 2200 SoC that's in the phone in the UK at least. Battery life with this phone is the real kicker. If you need that battery to last you the full day, this is not the phone for you. In fact, I would recommend, if you're still looking at Samsung, to go for the Plus model, because that should get you through a day quite easily. The only problem there, of course, is that you're then having to get a bigger phone. And if you're wanting something more compact, then it's maybe worth looking at something alternative to the S22. Maybe something like a Pixel 6a. It's nice and compact, but will still give you very good battery life and give you a full day. Even the Galaxy A series will give you better battery life as well. An A33 and A53 will get you through a full day, but then you are losing quite a lot of nice features by dropping down to those models. If you want to check out the S22 or something else like the Pixel 6a, then head on over to the Mozillion website. If you have any other questions about the S22 or anything else, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Until the next one, thanks for watching and take care.